Hey guys, welcome to Calibre Wings live stream. I'm Noel. Today's live stream, we're going to be talking about the customer's criticism of Calibre Wings. And we'll be inviting you guys to call in. There's a link in the description, and you can click the link and you can call in, all right, to let us have a chat. And perhaps there's some points that you want to make. We'll be glad to hear from you. So today's stream, I'm going to first start off by introducing certain aspects of Calibre Wings, especially in this stream. Well, okay, first of all, I think we are still a pretty niche community. What do I say that? Because every now and then I get new customers saying that, hey, we just found out about you and we are excited about what products you are bringing to the table. So that gives me the impression that Calibre Wings is still a brand that is yet to be totally known around the collector's space. And that also allows us to, reach out. So now why do I say this? Is because the people who are tuning in to us is a very close-knit families. It consists of fans who are very invested in what we do, the models that we produce, and of course they are very harsh critics of what we do. So it's a very small knit community. And in today's live stream, I shall disclose more information about Calibre Wings that this small knit community has always been asking. Now, what am I saying? I'm talking about the hierarchy of Calibre Wings. Before we even get to the customer service concerns, we are going to talk about the customer serving component itself, which is Calibre Wings. All right. Now, this topic, again, exclusively for those who are viewing this video, you will get to know. I guess majority of the customers that may buy our products either on eBay, from online stores, who are not viewing this video, then everything is per normal for them. All right. So we are telling you more about the hierarchy of Calibre. Now, why am I disclosing this today? Because I think along the line, again, for those who have been following us from day one, and we have many of you guys, and we appreciate you very much. Now, along the way, definitely we will be asked, and in fact, we have already been asked this question: how big is Calibre Wings? How many people is in the team? All right. Wind back a few years ago, when one of the collectors, Dan Smith, actually popped into our Hong Kong office unannounced. But it's a good thing at least we were there. Otherwise, he might say that, it's a phantom operation, shell company, doesn't exist. So anyway, we were very glad. Well, we were pleasantly surprised that Dan knocked on our door and came in. So Dan is actually living proof of the size of our company. So the day Dan actually saw myself and two designers. So when we first established Calibre Wings, it was myself, two designers, and then we had one person in mainland China who handles the factory. Now, fast forward to just a couple of years ago, we had shrinked our operation to just myself and a new personnel in China, which means that we have actually, parted ways with our two designers that were in Hong Kong, as well as our previous operations guy in China. Okay. Now, why did we do that? Obviously, we had got to assess the finances, and at the point of time, slimming down, cutting down was the way to go. Furthermore, with events that has just happened last year and might still be going on for more months to come, it was also, in a sense, lucky that we had removed that Hong Kong operations and based ourselves in China. So now I've mentioned so much things. It's very clear what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that Calibre Wings is, you are looking at Calibre Wings and another person who is assisting me, and she's called Kelly. Now, many of you may have already known Kelly because you have interacted with her via email. So Kelly is assisting me with orders, logistics, and some packing. Of course, she's a lady, so packing big boxes is not her job. So we also kind of subcontract a Chinese worker who will be called upon on certain times, not every time, because we don't ship out individual orders every day. So as and when we have enough orders that we need to go out, this person will be called in, and he will assist Kelly to pack the boxes. So in a sense, it's not on the payroll. So when you're not on the payroll, you're not regarded as part of the company per se. Now, so you are looking at myself, who actually handles basically everything. Not trying to put on a big hat for myself, but I'm just giving it to you because if we are asked this question in any interview that might pop up in the future, how big is Calibre Wings? I think it will not be prudent, or how that if we sort of like, okay, now let me take you back in the day when I was actually still an employee of a company, a small company. And back then, my boss, we would go to meet Hasbro for meetings, first pitches. And as always, the representative at Hasbro would ask, so how big is your company? And my boss would say, oh, we got about 10 people, when only it's just me and him. Well, the idea is to fake it till you make it, right? So we will tell them, we have 10 people, so and so that, Hasbro would not want to do business with some company that just have 2 people. Let's just put it simple. But we can only masquerade for so long, because come the day when they actually said, hey, let's go to meet you in the office, where are you going to find these 10 people to fill up the spaces to pretend or keep up this charade, right? So, one fine day came, and indeed Hasbro came to our office, and then we basically were blushing, red in the face, because it was not what we said we were. So I am telling you guys in this live stream today, the entire structure of Calibre Wings. It's myself, Kelly, who's assisting me, and we have subcontract to graphic designer, one, not many, and another artist. The other artist does certain simple sculptures, like the pilots that you see. In fact, these people are not unknown. We have credited them many times on Facebook, and even their names are in signature form on the box. So myself is also handling everything on Facebook. So if any of you actually write in to Facebook, the response you're getting is from me. And in fact, today there was just somebody else who actually asked, is this Noel I'm speaking to? So I said yes. And another day, another person actually asked, if you don't mind, may I know, how big is Calibre Wings? And I also gave him the answer. You know who you are. And before these two people, there were also other members of our community who has also popped the question to me. And likewise, I've given them nothing but the truth. So today, it is made known to all those who are watching this live stream. Now, why am I saying this? Now, I say this is because I hope that when our customers, yourself, write in with a concern, that you give me time to respond. I do my best to respond as fast as possible. I think those of you who write in on emails, on the Facebook Messenger, can attest to this. Sometimes when the response are not forthcoming, perhaps those questions are things that I can't answer at the moment, or they are not relevant that requires an immediate answer. All in all, I handle the answers on all the messengers. So basically, when you're messaging Calibre Wings on Facebook, you are messaging me. As well as when some customers, right, add my personal Facebook and message me privately on my personal Facebook, is the same. Whether you're doing it on Calibre Wings or you're doing it directly, is the same. I'm the one responding. And in regards to email, I'm pretty sure, again, those of you who write in can attest. Apart from certain periods of the year, like Chinese New Year, where we are away on holidays, perhaps Golden Week in China, some certain holidays. Otherwise, basically, email responses are, I think you can attest that it's pretty fast. So this is the Calibre hierarchy. If you have any questions, let me know and I will answer them. Let me have a look. Okay. So, okay, let's have a shout out to Patrick Young. Thank you for loving my jacket. I appreciate you. Dwayne Angelo, Polish Chef 16. We'll get to that in just a minute. All right, Mr. Sapling, nice to see you back again. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Hello, you. Jia Hui. All right. Hey, Mr. Corinne Heng. We appreciate you. Hello, Basecraft. Excellent work. We see you churning up bases every single day, almost every hour. Kudos. Corneliu, I hope I pronounced the name correctly. Mr. Morgavan, Corneliu, thank you very much. We have received your comments on Facebook last night. It was quite comprehensive. And yes, hope that you don't have too much heat from your wife. Hello, Maichi. We always appreciate you to take excellent pictures of our Calibre models. Okay, so, all right, I'm just going to carry on with my topics, and then we will see if there's anybody who's calling in and we can actually get into more discussion. So the way I'm structuring it is, now that I've mentioned, the hierarchy of Calibre Wings, everybody knows, nothing to hide. You can. So basically, I'm your customer service. All right. Okay, so we definitely want to serve with pride, and I think it's evident in the way you receive our responses. We do our best to say thank you for writing in. We address it as courteous as possible. At certain times, I'll get to that later. We are. In fact, I'll do it right now. I think this is in tie-in with our the way we actually handle customers. Since we're supposed to be on this topic of customers, right? So we have a no nonsense and direct attitude. Now that doesn't mean that we are, trying to be tough. Well, we are tough because we are no nonsense. We are here to serve you, and we are here to serve with reasonable folks. All right, we have had lots of you. Most of you are all very reasonable folks. I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Steve Wicks. So I can basically describe an example. So Steve got a model direct from us, and along the way, he received it with the box being damaged. So he brought it up to us, and we resolved it with him. Right now, what Steve has done is something that we really appreciate, because he's bringing up the problem in a very calm and collected manner, and we are doing our best to make sure that he is taken care of. And it is very different from some folks who are unreasonable, right? And even when they're unreasonable, I do my best to make sure that I'm stating the facts, and that hopefully they can understand the facts, and we can go on to have a conversation. Let me give you some examples, right? So we have certain times, we had one time where the customer received the model, and inside was totally destroyed. I mean, it's totally destroyed. And fine, it could happen, right? It could happen. So we said, send it back to us and we'll repair it. But when he gave us the cost of shipping to ship it back to us that we have to pay, it was about $220. Now, this to us is totally ridiculous, because the model costs $150. He adds shipping about $20 to $30 US. He paid about $180 US, and he got it, and it's supposedly destroyed. And we want it to be returned to us. Normally, when you return a package, the shipping cost is on the customer. Even here in China, when I buy something off the internet, and if it's defective, I return it, I pay the shipping. I think that's just the way it goes. For the seller to pay the shipping for me to return it back is very rare. Not that it doesn't happen, but it's very rare. So different people and different companies have different policies. So we have our policy, which is if something is needing a return, then the customer takes care of that return shipping. And when we ship it back, right, he also needs to pay for that shipping to ship back. Now, I will put myself in the customer's shoes, and I would think that it's not. I don't like it. I don't like to be paying shipping to ship back, and having to pay again to reship it to me. So that's why we have to engage in certain negotiations, because it's now basically it's a negotiation, right? When something goes wrong, we need to negotiate. There is no hard and fast rule. There's no like you have to do this, you have to do that, because the customer is always right. If the customer is reasonable, then we can negotiate, and there's always something to be worked out. But for this particular case, where the customer is adamant that we pay $220 to ship it back to him, or to us, then there is obviously something wrong there. Another example, all right, is the customer receives the product. The blister has saved the model from any damage, but the box was totally crushed. Now, if he comes to us and say, hey, I received the model, there is no damage to the model, but it seems like the post office or something along the way has crushed the box. Could you help me out? Now, when a customer talks in this way, we will find ways and means to try to assist, because we always believe that the customer has no ill intention. And because also when we are conversing on Facebook comments and email, there is no emotions attached to the words that you're reading. So if you are a calm and collected person, you will read the email or the comments in a calm, collected way. But if you are a more fiery person, then you will read the comments as if this guy is actually, talking back at me, right? So there is no way to actually emotionalize a message, which is why, I always return and keep speaking, because I want to make sure that there is no ill feelings. I want to make sure that the customer understands me correctly. If he had not understood me on the first round, could he try to look at it on the second round? So getting back to the guy with the box that is damaged, he wrote in and said, the box is damaged. I demand compensation. When you say something like that, automatically we are, like, what compensation? What are we to compensate? I mean, unless we destroyed the box before shipping it out, then yeah, I think we should probably compensate something. But if everything was fine and it was crushed not by our fault, then I think compensation is a little bit harsh. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, all right? I will just look at the comments. Okay. Okay, I was actually okay. All right, Atta Esfahani. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Hey, no, you guys have done a great job with the Iranian Tomcat. My only comment is that the sand color looks too bright and it's not very realistic. Okay, let's just go off tangent a little bit. It's supposed to be under customer service, but this is actually under product information. I have actually, I've not made this public. I've only done it in private messages. I had put together images of the real Iranian cat, a few of them, versus our model. And actually, the colors are not too bright. Okay. Not realistic. Okay. Again, the colors is different to each person's eye. The way I perceive a red is different from what you perceive a red. You may like it more scarlet, you may like it more blooded, or cherry, or purple, or maroon, but it's still under a red. So for the Iranian cat, the colors were selected with having a weathered look in mind without weathering the model. So the colors that we selected, if this is a sand, the initial sand was so dense, after weathering, it whites out. The green, the brown, likewise, it was dense at first, but after usage, it gets whitened. So that's the color we applied for the Iranian cat. I hope you can appreciate. But yes, I appreciate your view. That is your opinion, and hopefully next time we can select the colors that we can all see eye to eye to. That'll be the best solution. Okay. I'm sorry I can't read Russian, but I'm sure this is a comment that I will probably go into later on. I can't translate it now. Okay. All right. So let's get back to. So let's see. So Jiahui has asked if you can provide us some information regarding how OEM deal with quality control to products. I'm not sure what you mean. What do you mean by OEM deal with quality control to products? If you can explain further, I don't understand your question. Okay, so great stuff. Yeah, Benham is one of our first recipient of the Ali Cat, and he did a review on that, did a small video. Thank you so much for that. Hey, Stephen Charles, we appreciate you. We see all your comments, and we appreciate you. He says that he feels the situation that we've talked about were handled in a very professional manner. Yeah, I mean, we definitely hope so, because brings me back to the next point here. Okay, we are here to build bridges and not burn them, and we are here to work together with you, because the manufacturer and the customer is a relationship. Without me, there's no you, and without you, there's no me, right? So we need to work hand in hand. We create these products because you like them. You like what we're doing, and you are a customer. All right, you are a customer. Sometimes customers become friends. Customers are fans, supporters, and we appreciate you. But also we have to make sure that we are also speaking very truthfully, factually, and professionally to comments and criticisms, not from fans. Of course, it's easy to read comments, great stuff, nice model, good. Of course, it's always easy to read, right? But when you have things that are not as straightforward, then it requires more effort to handle. But it's not impossible. There's always a way to handle it. But if the initial statement, the starting, is already in a very harsh manner, then it's more difficult for us to identify if this is actually a real complaint or just one of the haters. Now, this stream is not about talking about haters, right? Because I believe wholeheartedly that there are just a very small percentage of haters. most of you have already stated that you are very concerned and want us to do well. And when we do well, you can be rewarded with a product that you would be very proud to have your hard-earned money to purchase. So, but getting back to those comments where it's sounds harsh, we always try to see whether we can find out exactly what's going on. So I'm a person that likes to share, because by sharing, you find out what's going on. That's the way I believe it. So when I am sharing things, sometimes it is misconstrued as me shaming the customer. Now, that is never the case. It is never my intention to shame someone, because karma is always there. Because if I shame someone, I'm pretty sure down along the line, someone is going to shame me. So that is not the way I work. But I'm critical. If something is out of this world, I want to put it in a public area, which is our space. It's not even, I'm not posting it everywhere around. I'm only doing it in our space. I'm doing it in my house. I'm putting the signs on my house door. Those that come to my house can read it. See? So I'm not actually shaming anybody. I'm putting it out so that my community can look at it and share their thoughts. So on the first time round, when I did something like this, okay, I stepped over the line, had some private information that I wasn't supposed to disclose. But back then, I was, perhaps a little bit too heated and wanted, because we all collectors, right? So we all know we all know our friends. So for example, in Singapore, the likes of Kerwin, Matthew, Gerald, Robin, it's a bunch. We know each other. There's no way to hide it. So in the US, you may have a few friends in a certain state, So back then, when I was trying to find out if they are friends of this person who can say, hey, this guy is really, I'm his friend. It's real. I saw the thing. It's damaged, and he's using UPS something, FedEx, to ship it to you for $200. Then at least we have some communications. So that was my aim initially when I put out the information. But of course, I was told that this is wrong. So I took that down immediately. And then going forward, I had rarely put up any more of such, I would say, maybe they call it don't show your dirty laundry, right? But again, like I said, I'm just sharing. It's not a dirty laundry. I'm just putting something out there so that you guys can also let me have a sanity check, right? Am I is it me who is the problem? Perhaps we can figure it out. So I'm just gonna share this. All right. So when I posted this screenshot, it was basically to find out whether are we heading in the wrong direction, because the die cast that is in the market is of a certain way, but we are doing it different. We are opening this and taking out that, too many gaps, things are falling off. So maybe this customer is right. Maybe he said he doesn't care if I have all these details and shape, if I can't even get the basics right. The basics is the tooling. If the tooling is full of holes and full of, I don't know, right? So So I wanted to find out from you guys, and you guys have input and shared that, most of you felt that this particular comment is actually not warranted. Although we tried very much to look on both sides of the coin, and a couple of people also said that perhaps that's not what he meant. Perhaps he wanted to just say that it is not about not having details and not about not having an accurate shape, but if you want to have all those things, you also you have to first make sure that your tooling is done properly. Which leads us back to the same question: is the tooling so bad? The answer seems to be no. All right. And when we have things like that, and again, this is also public, isn't it? So when people read things like that, people are swayed. Because believe you me, I have had so many questions on Messenger and email about the pylon issue on TP02, that it is a proof that such writing in a public forum has its effects. And I'm wasting my time replying all these things when it actually shouldn't be the case. If the customer has an issue and they get to us, we can address it. Now, but if a customer reads the news and starts writing to us and say, "Hey, is it like that? Is it like that?" Then we are actually wasting the time, because the customer is not a customer yet. He has not bought the model, right? But of course, on the flip side, you can argue that yes, the customer is trying to find out if this is the case, because if it's this case, he doesn't want to buy it. Then of course that's fine, right? Which is why I mentioned here that we are trying to build bridges. And I just mentioned the hierarchy, right? It's just myself and Kelly. So if we were to do things like, okay, so I'm just going to share what Chuck mentioned here. Again, this is just sharing, all right? This comment he placed this comment on Facebook so everybody can read it. So I'm just sharing this. So let me just turn off this banner so that we can see it clearly. Okay. Okay. So Chuck mentions that he has both our models as well as HM's model. And where HM gets it right, we miss the mark. Now, he goes on to elaborate. HM builds out of the box complete die-cast, meaning that once you buy a HM model, it's hands-free. You don't need to do anything. And that's what collectors want. And I can appreciate that, which is why I explained. If you recall in my stream, I explained that our mentality is also when you buy a Calibre model, when you take it out, it's as assembled as it can be. I said that, right? So he goes on to say that William from HM treats any issues as defects. So any issue as defects. Let us think about that. Any issues as defects. Right, fair enough. And he just resolves it. However, it seems like Calibre Wings appears to believe, come on, this is easy, just glue it. But no, we are trying to work together, because if you ship it back to us, you have to pay the shipping. If we ship it back to you, you have to pay the shipping. If we ship you a part, you have to pay the shipping. That's just the way it is. There's certain policies. All right. So we're trying to see if we can work it out. If the pylon is loose, could you put some white glue on it? Once the white glue dries, it creates a thicker layer on the tab and you can fix it in. I can let you know that the way to solve this batch issue, if this was on the factory floor, is we will just tell the factory, this is loose, and the factory will take the paint and they will apply the paint onto the tab. And once the paint dries, the tab is now thicker. So obviously there was a lapse in this part, in this particular part that has the internet, exploding on this particular part. Note that it was only on this particular part, whereas, even if we had loose components on many of our models, which we know there are, right? When you introduce many parts, you are introducing yourself to many points of failures. And that is something that we hope the customer can appreciate. But then again, yes, I fully understand the flip side. I'm the customer. I'm paying the money. I want a good product. I'm not going to accept you have many parts. That's your business. You have many parts. You make sure that every part is done properly because you are the manufacturer. And believe us, we want to do it. We have all the sincerity to make sure everything is good. Nothing pains me more than to have my product not performing to what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be Calibre. The reason why Calibre is chosen as a name is because it has a certain degree of standard. Now, sidetracking a little bit. So when I respond to all these comments of customer criticism, I also get some concerned friends, customers who said that I'm taking this personally. So I would brush it away by telling him, no, I'm not taking it personally. I'm addressing it professionally. But now, since that I've mentioned to you that Calibre Wings is just myself and my assistant Kelly, perhaps, yes, I am taking it personally. Why? Because this is my work. So when my work is not up to the standard, I take it personally. I think if you look at it in this other way versus a petty, I'm not being petty. I'm being personal, being passionate. So if I can describe this example, a football coach, when the team of the football is not performing to the standard that the team is expected of, some people blame the players, but the coach actually blames maybe himself, or he takes it personally. When he takes it personally, when after the match and the team has lost and the reporters, the journalists are asking the coach questions, is it wrong that he takes it personally? Because this is his job, this is his players, and when the results are not right, isn't it his personal issue? So I think when I take things personally, it is not to the degree that some people might think that it is personal, like you are getting under my skin. It's not that kind of personal. It's that kind of personal that I take pride in my work. So when things are not up to par, I take it personally. I hope I've explained myself on that aspect. Okay. So we carry on to talk about Chuck's comments where he said that the price, right? The detailing and such are competitive advantages, not a trade space for why it didn't pass QC. And also why we pay more for a Calibre than a HM. Now, I like to share. And sometimes when I share, it either helps me or it hurts me. So when I share things, I don't really have too much bother if it's gonna hurt me or it's gonna help me, because I just like sharing. Now, when we talk about price, a Calibre wings versus a HM, you're already paying more for a Calibre wings, so it has to be better, right? Now, have you considered that sometimes, or not sometimes, but paying more could also be paying for quantity of things versus quality. Of course, we want to achieve the quality, but before we give you the quality, we gave you the quantity. The classic cats had the 3 types of pylons that the F-14 uses. It has as much of the air-to-air missiles that the F-14 uses that we can house within that particular constraint. So we gave you many option parts. We gave you quantity first. So that actually constitutes to the higher price before anything else. Because when we price something, it's not automatically quality. Because if it was quality, then perhaps we have to cut away all these other things that's preventing the quality from being the quality. Now, why do I say that again? So I had QC'd in 2020, and I've placed one video of the Super Tomcat that I QC'd, but I can't possibly do every single video of me QCing. So you have to take my word for it. So I personally QC'd the JR02, Miss Molly, B. Devlers, low visibility Macross 0 F-14A, wrong, F-14B, some of TP-02, and the Super Tomcat. That's 6. Now, if you do the calculation, and I've done it myself, I know, right? In one day, from I can't really start at 8 a.m. All right, let's put it this way. I reach the factory at about, maybe if I'm good, 9. If I'm not good, 10. So 10 to 12, 2 hours. And then there's a break. 90 minutes break for lunch. And work starts at 1:30. So sometimes I come back and be at 2. So 2 to 5:30 before the next break. And then they come back at 6. 6 to 9 is the last session. So if you take into account about 10 hours, and I do about 100, 120. If everything is good, there's more, right? If everything is good, we go faster. We go 150 units a day. If things are not good, rework, then maybe 100, sometimes even 80 pieces a day. So if you do the math, if I QC 1,000 pieces at 80 pieces a day, I would take at least 20 days to QC one SKU. And I did that for the 6 SKU I mentioned. Even to the point of actually even hand painting the Macro Zero F14A, I think about 60% of them I hand painted, hand touched up, because I felt that the effects weren't as good. So if I did this QC and with all my other aspect of work, then there is no way for us to run a continuous production, because the moment I sit down and start QCing, it's a bottleneck. Everybody needs to wait for me to approve it before they can continue. And I will be taking up 20 days of my time to do QC instead of planning for the next releases, planning how the next box is going to be packaged, illustrated, selecting the image to be illustrated, putting in the markups for the packaging, again deciding the next liveries to be made, correcting, counter checking what has been made, selecting the colors, doing the research, etc., plus answering Facebook questions, messages. So therefore, I had left QC of the rest of the TP02, 03, 04, SU24 Soviet camouflage, as well as F16 Wave 1 to the factory. But we sat down and we said, these are the points to take note. Furthermore, you've done F14s for so long, you should know how to do it, what to take note of. And for the F16, again, if I were to be sitting there to look at every single F16, we would not have delivered the models before Chinese New Year. Let me look at the comments. Okay, I'm going to go from, let's see if I missed out on anything here. Sorry, guys. Give me a minute. Okay. So R1 Virtual has come up with this question, this statement. Can we not be an experiment to you? Please make sure the product is ready and show it via live YouTube. Only then open the PO. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yes, I agree. I agree that we should not be doing products that is not good, and you guys get it, and we start to see the faults, and it is an experiment. We'll do our best, and perhaps you can see that we are doing our best in the sense that the F16's first wave has only a few issues, but issues nonetheless. So the best thing for customers who are concerned about not being experimented on, my advice is wait for the subsequent waves. It is just diligent customer research. Same thing for me. When we look at, if we look at iPhone examples, we can also see from history that it seems like the new iPhone always has some problems such that the S version is better. But some of us would still buy the iPhone new one no matter, right? Because fans are fans. So we rely on all these fans to support us on the first wave, knowing that we have cut no corners, knowing that we have done as diligently as we could given the circumstances. We had not rushed the F-16. We had tuned the tooling over and over again. That's why it took 2 years. And actually, if you look at it, it seems like to refine something as tedious as the way we approach a model, there seems to be an average timeline of 2 years to produce a model. I think, they say you look at the table of a football league and the table doesn't lie. So same thing, if you look at the history, it doesn't lie. We cannot lie to say that we took less time to make the fencer, or we took, we can't. It's 2 years for the fencer, 2 years for the F-16, and it's coming up to 2 years for the fitter. So perhaps you can have a gauge, and perhaps this is the reason why, it is evident of a one-man operation that things are taking as long as it takes because there's only one man seeing to everything. I have to verify that what the factory told me is true, if that is true. So the F-14, when it first came out, the factory said it is true, but I had to verify it is not true. This is loose, that is not tight enough, so I have to verify it. And once I verify it and they so-called rework it and they get back to me, I had 10 points, but they only rework about 3 points. There's still 7 points that's undone. And we rework it again. So these are actual real life issues that I think some of us may relate to, because let's say if you're in the design business and you have a design proposal, right? You are the customer. So you get somebody to design something for you and you do your markups. I'm pretty sure if you have 20 points to mark up, that on the second draft, you still see the same mistakes again. So this is a part of life. It'll be brilliant if we had 20 mistakes mentioned and they come back with all 20 mistakes done. Brilliant. But that's just not how it is. And we have to work with it. So getting back that, can we not be an experiment? All I can say is, I'm sorry if you feel that we are experimenting on you, but that is the last thing we want to do. We would never want to put out something haphazardly. We have done our best to put it out, and our best apparently is not good enough because it is deemed an experiment to some of you. And we'll always do better. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. All right. So, how do you ensure the quality of a product? So the quality of a product is a few things. I think I've sort of briefly mentioned it in some of the previous QC videos, but we can talk about it again. So the quality, of course, is first of all that the model is free from visual errors. Visual errors would be if things are supposed to be pad printed, they are not missed out. And indeed, things can be missed out. That's why there's the final check. But again, like I said, it's all human. When you see something 1,000 times, there is bound to be things that you miss. But fortunately, I'm not giving myself, again, a high hat. I'm able to catch a lot of details, which is why I think yourself can attest to the fact that those 6 SKUs that I mentioned, you can hardly find any errors apart from loose attachments. I only check the model. I do not check the parts, because if I were to check the model and the parts, it's more than 20 days guaranteed. So we have to give some confidence as well. We can't hold the hand of the factory forever. You have to give some confidence and let them do it. Otherwise, I'll be making every model for you, and I won't be making 1,000. I'll be making maybe about. I'm worn out making 2 or 3, special orders to weather the model. I'm worn out. So imagine the factory making 1,000 pieces, not just one, but many styles. So how do I ensure the quality? So we ensure the quality by visual checks. That's all we do. Visual checks. The quality of the product has to be good fitting, of course. And when it comes to fitting, we just ask for your patience, because you can evidently see that in the F-16's pylon attachment, there is no issues compared to small one-off issues with the F-14. Again, the F-14, other manufacturers, they fix on the pylons by glue and they put it into the packaging. You have no choice. So even if, okay, so let's not go there, right? You know for yourself what the differences are. And I've already mentioned, if you have so many parts, you're introducing more points of failure. But again, I ask for your patience, because it is not something that is, what's the word I'm looking for? It is not a catastrophe. Everything still fits pretty well. It's the one-offs that certain amount of you will experience. And the reason why I ask for patience is because we are going to slowly develop into the magnetic joints. With the S2 that we're putting out this summer, it's already magnetized to begin with. It will take us time to go back to magnetize the Fencer, to magnetize the F-16. But we will get there. And we can only get there with your support. So again, the quality, we make sure that the parts that are supposed to be tight are tight. Paints are applied properly. There are cases whereby there are blemishes. And when we do a weathering, we have to make sure that the weathering is done so that it is subtle and not a distinct contrast between the weathering color and the aircraft color. Then it looks like somebody just took a brush and just drew it. So these are all quality checks. So I hope I've answered the question of how we ensure the quality of the model. Okay. All right. So Mr. Sapiling has a question about the second wave of the Ultimate Vipers. Will the side panel still be in the fuselage? Yes. We have not yet done any corrections. I've already mentioned correcting the seat to the proper width is for next time, and we will update you as and when we do the corrections. So for wave 2, it is still the same, only with a lot of with all the issues on wave 1 improved. All right. So since we're on that topic, let me just share with you a video of the final aspect of the Viper, which hopefully a few of you experience and highlighted to me, this is what it is. Okay. Okay, so I think that's the okay. So what you just saw is the video showing you the rare occasion where the undercarriage module cannot mate completely. That's because, as you have seen in the video, the main undercarriage has its plastic not fully depressed down and it's raised up a little bit, and that obviously caused the entire module from mating. So if any of you experience this, it's an easy fix. We will send you the corrected module without the raised part. We'll send you one that is properly affixed. So again, these are some of the evidence of factory workers assembling parts, and on the occasions when it's not done properly, it affects certain things. Okay, so I'm going to still look at your comments. All right, maybe we look at some okay, so I just found Calibre wings and yet to buy one of the products. But to me, so far, this company is one of the best in communication with the customers. And the products look great. Thank you very much, Lowlight. Yes, we are, as I have mentioned in this stream already, we are here to be of service. So okay, so R1 again, about the experiment. So he PO'd the Mira F16 but felt a little bit cheated. Given you declared this before the PO, can we appreciate it? So what do you feel cheated by? Maybe you can let me know in the comments again, or you can call in. All right, because I'm unsure what you're being cheated. Like I said, the model is okay. There are only a small percentage whereby there are issues. So I'm not too sure. Why do you say you are cheated? I've had comments from many of you about how the F16 has no problems. So I'm not too sure what he means by being cheated. So if you can further and let me know, then I will address your concern. So Steve Penny is also saying that he enjoys the F-14s. Regarding the second Top Gun release, it was the reasoning. What was the reasoning behind the compressed nose gear for this release? Okay, so this is not really about criticizing our products, but more of a question of the rationale. So it's very simple. When we made the Top Gun F-14s in particular, the three models, Ghost Rider, Lightning, Fist, and Red Eagle, notice that they do not come with the standard array of weapons because these three aircraft by default do not carry all the ordnance and we want to keep it to that. Furthermore, these 3 aircrafts receive secondary coloring treatment, so therefore increasing in its production costs. And these 3 models are also done in the same manner as the Macross Zero F14. So that's 4 models, right? In a classic cat, one classic cat has 2 front landing gear, a normal front landing gear and a kneeling front landing gear. So if we have 4 models, then that's 1 of each. So since we have 4 models having 1 of each, we place 1 of each in the model. But however, again, see, even when we are so concise with our planning, the factory still made a mistake, because with Red Eagle, they were supposed to include the kneeling front landing gear, but instead they provided the normal front landing gear, which I didn't see because I was not there to QC it. So I hope you got the answer, Steve. Yes, we're also looking forward to the tracker, and I'm not sure if I should touch on the U2 now. Perhaps we'll leave that on another stream, so let's not confuse everybody. Well, thank you for that comment. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I am a maverick. I think I mentioned that I'm a maverick, not because I am the Top Gun Tom Cruise maverick that I idolize. No, I don't idolize that particular character. But I derive the name Maverick. What does it mean? So Maverick means unorthodox. And I looked at myself and I saw the way I was doing things, and I felt that that particular name actually fits my personality. That's why I call myself a maverick. So like I said, I'm not for BS, and I'm always for facts and truths and scientific proof. So what I'm doing here is to engage with you, because you guys are real people. You're not some fake accounts. You are real people on the other side of this screen, and you have purchased real products. And sometimes it's really quite astounding. It's quite amazing that the products that I see in the factory floor made its way across miles to a home in UK, to a home in Canada, to a home in the USA, in Japan, Philippines, Australia, India, Europe. It's just amazing, because it was just here. It was just here in the factory, and I just saw it, but now it's over there. And when we make all these shipping, I'm always frightened for dear life, because I just don't know what happens, because we have cases of a blister breaking, because of very cold climates. The blister kind of got frozen, and any impact caused it to be brittle and it breaks. But that's not our intention, because our intention is to provide the PET material, which is environmentally safe and more expensive than the toxic PVC material, which is more malleable. So again, I'm trying to do too much. I'm trying to go for PET. If you guys know what's PET, if you don't know, you can check it out. You can check out PET blister versus PVC blister. So PET blisters are crystal clear, right? They're the clearest form of blister. PVC blister has a bit of a hue, not so clear. So when I decided upon the PET, it was also for aesthetic reasons, not just because of environmental reasons, right? So we obviously learn from our interactions with other work before that the world was moving away from PVC and using PET. So even in I've referenced, right? I've referenced the Bandai VF1 Fighter 148 scale DX. It's packaged in a PET, but of course, the Bandai DX is plastic, and even if you subject it to impact, it will not cause as much damage as our diecast F14s. So there's many things to consider. But I still stand by currently, like I said, unless otherwise, that we have to switch our F14 packaging to something like our F16. Currently, the F14 packaging will suffice. So yeah, so back to this comment, I do things in a certain way, and when I do things in a certain way, it's never meant to be against somebody else. I'm just doing it based on what I think is the right way to do it. And because I'm by myself, I don't have advisors by my side to say, hey, this is wrong, or you should consider this or that. So I take the comments from you guys sometimes, right? So for example, when Chuck mentioned about a recall, I was asking him, how would you recall it? It was a true question. Perhaps he knows about recalls. But I have to actually mention that, unlike poisonous children's toys that we have seen some saga before back in years ago, prominent names, big company names using lead, or rather lead was discovered in the paint meant for kids. So that obviously required a recall because that was a safety concern. When the pram from certain manufacturers, Combi, even a big name, had some safety issues, that warranted a recall. A recall will always mean financial penalties. A recall will always mean financial negativity for the manufacturer because I need to recall it. I need to make sure everybody, all these stock that is now in UK, France, Japan, I got to get it back on my dime. But is there a need for us to recall because the F14 pylon is loose? Right? So that's the reason why I don't think a recall is applicable in our business. So Stephen Charles is also saying that I think collectors forget that these are models and sometimes accuracy is subjective. Yeah, we are again, I am not a university graduate. I only had post-secondary education. I did mechanical engineering, have a diploma in that. So I know a little bit about tolerances, plan views, side views, using the vernier caliper. So in terms of what we're doing now, it's a bit like that, right? There's some tooling involved. You need to check for whether it's a tight fit, a loose fit, these kind of differences. Of course, we don't want any loose fit, right? We have everyone tight fit. Sometimes it's a snap fit. Sometimes it's we look for tolerances, right? So everything, when it's a mechanical thing, there is tolerance. It's if it's within this and this. So even a gap, if a gap is within a tolerance, is acceptable. But perhaps if somebody uses a magnifier glass and magnifies that gap, it might suddenly look like it's. So these are the things that we, it's not within our control. When we take a magnified photograph of our Saint 2 scale model and we see our panel lines as trenches. I mean, I've no answer to that because they are trenches. If the photograph shows that it's a trench, it's a trench. But if we remove ourselves from such a microscopic photograph and look at it with our naked eye, is it still a trench? You decide. Okay, Sukhoi 30. Okay, let's not get into that, my friend. We are talking about toolings that we currently have, and the Sukhoi 30 is not what we have. So Anthony Wavers, I hope I got your last name correct. I think it's wrong. I think I pronounced it wrong. Wavers. Okay, and Anthony, he said that found Calibre wings searching for reasonably priced quality die casts. There can be flaws in production. It happens. I work in the car industry. You'll be surprised what I see on even expensive cars. Yes. But like I said, again, it's not an excuse. Okay. Why I say it's not an excuse is because when I tell the factory, when I spot mistakes, and I tell the factory that this is a mistake, and the factory gets back to me and say, it is normal for mistake. But no, it's not normal if the mistake happens at a 30 to 40% level. So this is what I was doing back before 2020. So in 2018-19, when we were doing inspection on those models made in those years, and I encountered 30 to 40% defective, and the answer is it happens, then that's wrong. Yes, there can be defectives, but industry standard would keep defectives between 3 to 5%. So in a batch of 1,000 pieces, 3 to 5% being totally trash is acceptable, right? I'm not saying that it's acceptable that it's trash, but in that batch, we found if the customers found, those 3 to 5% that's trash, it's acceptable. But the customers who got the trash comes back to us, and we will take care of the customer. Unless, of course, I do the 100% inspection, like the 6 models that had 0 defectives. But I can't do that. And based on my experience with the factory, we can experience up to even 10% defective or 15%. That I can tell you. But I might be even over-exaggerating. We'll see, right? We'll see. Because again, like I said, you guys are the close-knit community, and we use you as a gauge. How many of you have gotten our models with that bad of a quality? You guys can feedback. You guys can post it onto the Facebook, and we'll assess. So right now, we are getting only about, I don't know, 1 or 2 that is totally in disarray. So okay. So far there's no callers yet. Like I said, the link is there. You can call in the StreamYard. Once you are inside, I can see you. I can put you on. But so far there's nobody. So Benham is saying that the only thing I could note for concern would be, like me, I make and produce custom detailed models. I have the advantage through though of seeing in hand each of my models I sell. Some QC amendments would be the only criticism I have. Loss of pen lines through pain, slight gaps here. Yes. Okay. You are talking about the F14 on the underside, port side wing. Port side wing on the underside, the pen lines are not clear. Yes, we have noted that, and we have taken the tooling out for refinements. And of course, all these things requires money when you are repairing a tooling, right? So so you will see that the port side underwing would have defined panel lines from JR03. Okay. So mass production will have defects. Yeah, like I said, it is done by workers, and workers. No, like I said, it's not an excuse. I'm not giving an excuse. I'm just telling you guys as it is. And if there's a problem, we will definitely address it. Because some people might not even see the problem. See? So by us going overly overboard on certain things, like me doing 100% inspection, at the end of the day, there might be a handful of people that actually don't even appreciate or didn't see what was being done. So I really have to balance this very carefully between my time to ensure every model is pristine, precise, and letting the factory do their work and not hold them by the hand every time. Like I said again, there's nothing I love more than to deliver the model to you and it's perfect. And many of us have used die-cast cars as an example. They are saying that they're paying the premium price for CMC cars and it's pristine. Now, CMC cars are definitely not 150 US, are they? All right. And CMC cars are not this small, are they? So when something is bigger, it's easier to work with. And when something is even higher price, there is definitely the pressure to deliver on quality. Believe you me that an aircraft model is significantly different from a car model. Significantly different. And how a car model can achieve so-called perfection and high quality is very different from how an aircraft model can achieve perfection and a very high quality. I dare pose the challenge to anybody out there who can show me an aircraft model die-cast that is pure perfection in a mass production way. And I would like to learn how to do it. All right. So Joe is, I guess, seconding what Steven said earlier, that mass production models are made to a price point using materials that can be painted, assembled by non-modelers. Okay, so talking about non-modelers, and again, just now when Chuck was mentioning about Hobby Master makes models that is there, you have your hands free. So that's where we come into play. We are not Hobby Master. We make our models more intricate. And when it's more intricate, there comes the user input. Now, would it help? Would it help if we don't call it die-cast models? Would it help if we change our name and call it die-cast model kits? Will we be let off the hook if we just call it die-cast model kits and you actually have to glue things yourself and fix things yourselves? Think about that. If we just simply change our name to to alleviate us from responsibility. See, that would be the easy way out, isn't it? I can just call it tomorrow that from now on, we're no longer called die-cast models, but we are called, our products are actually die-cast model kits. You put them together, then everything is solved, right? But I don't think we have to go to that route, because that's just being silly. That's as silly as some of the absurd things being brought up by certain individuals that sometimes I just shake my head. Okay, so enough of that. So Axel B says, greeting from France. I'm glad I can chat with you. My experience since 2018 in two parts. One, negative point, stabilizer is too tight, but corrected since 2020, missing or broken parts. Pitot tube. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean, Axel. I'm not sure if this is a improvement, or because you mentioned that it's corrected but missing or broken parts. Anyway, we will definitely continue to make sure that your experience will be improved. Oh, I think you have another comment here. Oh, sorry. So number 2, positive point, manufacturer keen to improve its models, smaller boxes, fewer weapons options with fewer but more. Hold on. Okay. Okay, Axel, let's not get into the SU-30 and the Raphael and all these things. I got to be honest with you guys, all right? So ever since we got some traction and we got customers and fans liking our stuff, then there's obviously many requests for many aircrafts. And like I said before, as much as I want to do it, because I appreciate you guys, I want to do it because since you guys want it, I'm doing my best to do it. But we got to look at what's realistic. If we take 2 years to make one tooling, you can basically count when it will be before we can get to a Raphael or a SU-30, right? So, but of course, I hope that things can improve. Sometimes things may improve exponentially, right? And if we have a chance to improve exponentially, then we can look at getting more help and perhaps expediting our products. It's definitely something that we can kaizen towards. And like I said, I need to also make sure that we research on all these subjects. We don't simply make something and then make it for the sake of making it. When we make something, we make sure we go into the understanding, just like an actor, right? An actor, when they take up a part, they will actually go and immerse themselves into that character so that they can perform the role more accurately. So when we did the F-14, we were really into looking at all the books, interacting with all the people who know about F-14. Among you guys, you know who you are. And so much input, not just, like I said, I don't know everything and I don't know a lot of things. And it's with all this input from you guys that helps me to grow and make the model the best it can be. Likewise, for the F-16, we have many of you who have written in by email. You guys know who you are, and have provided countless inputs that otherwise we have actually missed. But at one request, please give us the input early. Don't give it to us at the last minute when we've already finished the tooling and say, hey, this is wrong. Then unfortunately, we can't do anything until we are rich enough to retool. Let's just put it plain and simple, right? So even for now, the Wave 2 Primo F-16, there was some controversy about how I saw on the picture that the horizontal stabilizer was of a different color. So some of you are saying that it's from the light reflection, but I'm not colorblind, and I know a different color when I see it. But my mistake was only seeing the starboard side rather. So on Twitter, a Japanese by name of Nemo, he messaged me on Twitter just today. And just today, I responded, could you help me out by giving me some photographic proof that indeed the rudders are a different color? He did that, and now I stand corrected. Both rudders are a different color from the body color. See? So with input from you guys, we can work together. Let me put up the banner again. We can build bridges. We can work together to create the most accurate model that we can. And if we do our best and we fall short, we did our best. Why? Because even the Primo has another part that unfortunately we don't have. We don't have the carrier port. And on that photograph, the Primo has a very nice looking carrier port with lots of insignias. So, unfortunately, we will not be able to include that into the model. So I own a Corvette. I'm not too sure what that means. All right, Mark, thanks for joining the stream. And sorry for me getting to your comment late. You wonder whether different countries' customs open them up and route through them. Yes, I think this is all a bit of luck or the lack thereof. If indeed, your model gets opened by custom, then it's not exactly our fault, but we feel for you. Again, let me use personal examples. I buy I buy things as well as you guys, right? We buy things as well. We're collectors, so we buy things. And when I receive something and the box is dented, unless this is a truly collector's item, vintage, whereby the box matters so much, I would not make it difficult on the seller. I would just, if it's a new item and if I care so much for the box, I would initially already ask him to make sure that it is double box, triple box and everything, right? But if I didn't ask for all these things and he was sending it the normal way, and I can see that there's attempts to protect the box, and if it's indeed something outside force that caused a little bit of a dent, for me it's fine. I can live with it. But if I truly need the box to be pristine for future resale value, then I just buy another one, I guess, and then make sure that I ensure that the seller packs it properly. That's all I can say. But if it's a vintage item, and normally a vintage item, the seller knows how to pack it really nice so that you get it as mean as possible. And you're afraid that if the vintage items get smashed, then there's no winners. The seller has only won. He has done his best to protect it. You got it crushed. It's only between you and him, right? Me and him. So we sometimes we should just reflect and see exactly where is the fault. If the guy has done his best to protect it and it's really something not within his control, then I don't think I don't think it's fair to put the blame on the person. But that's just me. If the pylon doesn't fit into the hole, put the model filler and let it dry for 10 minutes. Yeah, we are not recommending that you put model fillers because I truly understand where the buyer is coming from. Like I said, I always put myself in the shoe of the buyer. I always am fearful that the model arrives and there's certain things that is not correct and the buyer is unable to rectify it himself. Likewise, with the video that I just showed you guys of the undercarriage module not connecting, when the customer reached out to me, I was having trouble trying to understand what was the problem because we haven't had any of this problem at all. But we finally found one defective unit at the factory, which was picked out. And hence, I took the video with that defective unit that was taken out of production. It is just that one piece or two piece or three piece or five pieces that could be like that made it into the 1,200 pieces production. So bound to be somebody to notice it, and we're waiting for those people to contact us and we'll resolve it. See? So normally our advice for remedy would involve much simpler fixes like using white glue. White glue dries transparent. White glue is a glue that is used for wood. White glue is very easily found in art and craft shops. White glue does not damage the paint surface. In fact, once the white glue dries, you can actually peel it off. And white glue is basically masking soil. If you are doing models, you can use white glue, diluted, of course, to put onto your part. And once it dries, you can peel it off. Just some information. Okay. Zachary Sek. William treats any issues as defects, except products sold to Chinese consumers. All right, thanks for the information. I'm sure we are not giving you the wrong feeling that we are not treating issues as defects, but we're treating issues as issues. What do you call it? Issues? I mean, it's just a play of words, right? Defect, issue. It's just a play on words. So I don't think we should go there. We have already made the stand clear that we are not turning a blind eye to any complaints. Okay. So yes, low light is correct. You can use clear nail polish. Although I've not used it before, so I wouldn't recommend it. But since low light recommended, maybe it works. Okay, so same thing here. All right, thanks, Freddie, for the kind comment. Yes, we are definitely always striving for good quality. I mean, nothing pains me more than to see the initial foul marks on the first wave of F-14s. Because who would have thought that the factory would use a rough coarse file and file off the burrs and incur foul marks? I mean, this is unheard of, right? But if you don't check, you don't know. So quality is definitely something we strive for, because that's just me. So Andrew Trent, another familiar face on our Facebook. So could there be any plan to release an F-14 ordnance package for models that don't miss out? Okay, so like I said, currently we are unsure if just putting out the accessories blister on a classic cat would have any sale value. You might feel that you want it, but it might not be the same feeling for the entire market. So when we commit to something, we have to make sure that the market will buy it. However, I do believe that the market would buy into my concept of a range of ordnance, like I mentioned before in my previous stream, that is universal throughout all our models. I can't speak for other manufacturers because I'm speaking for myself. I mentioned in my previous stream that the sidewinder on F14 is different from the sidewinder on F16. And that's wrong. I will allocate the time to produce a set of ordnance that is of high detail. I know that the complaints now is on the parting line on the missiles. Now, the parting line is there because we have not yet used the most expensive tooling. The most expensive tooling would help us with no parting line. And it's no joke. It is no joke to embark onto such high definition and high cost tooling. So we need to be in a position where we are ready to move on to the next stage. So I'm hopeful that it will be soon, but you can know this plan now based on what you're hearing. Flagstaff, Tamero, no, you show that you care. I mean, I'm not putting on a show. I'm talking to you guys. I'm using this time. It's really been about. Holy, it's been. Well, I think I've gone by quite a long time. I hope. Yeah, I hope this. I'm doing this stream so that customers from the West can wake up and enter in, and we can have some interaction, because I think most of you from Asia are already past big time, so I can appreciate that. We can see the members at the chat peaking at 31 and then dropping to about 17, 18, and now it's going up to about 20 again. So I appreciate you guys being here. And like I said, when I put myself in front of this camera, it can either be good or it can be bad, right? Because I'm vulnerable. I'm putting no barriers, right? I'm just talking to you as myself, because not everybody is here, so I'm still good, right? I can tell you, majority of our customers don't know this stream. Only 30 of you know. So it's like 3% of the 1,000 production, isn't it? So it's the 3%. But at least there's the 3% of these are not defects. These are the really hardcore supporters of the brand, the top tier that we are addressing, because you guys take the effort to, out of your busy schedule, to come to this stream to listen to me rant or talk. And yeah, so I'm definitely appreciating every one of you who give your time, and I'm not wasting time. I'm spending the time to tell you guys on the ground what's happening, so that you can appreciate, because we got another comment that most collectors don't even know how diecast is made. And along the way, I am going to be making more of the videos to show you how the models are made in a more detailed way than the VF31 Tomcatters video. So I'm working towards that. I'm trying to put together a video to show you how tempo print molds are made. That for me was always a curiosity, but I found out how it was made, and I'd like to share that with you guys. And most of the scale model videos that you see online, the guy gives you from the scratch how the model comes out from the box. He removes the model from the sprue. He paints them with the primer and puts them together with the glue. So I'm going to show you something like that with our models. So how it gets injected, how we refine after the model is injected, the parts, how it goes through the painting, the pet printing, how it gets screwed together, how it gets glued together, and how it gets assembled together. I'm gonna, I'm doing that, and you'll need time, so I'm gonna make sure I spend the time to do it, and I'm the one filming, right? I film, I edit, and I YouTube. So I think it's evident. So Anthony, again, if a company is willing to do this and talk out issues with customers in a public setting once to generally improve, I'd spend money with them all day long. Yes, okay. The next thing I'm going to say might be very dangerous, but I think it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that we have to our prices are derived from the the, the protocols. If we can do a B to C, direct to the customer, then we can probably have a reduced price. But because we can't do that, it's impossible. We only have 30 of you watching. So if I can't sell 30 models and expect to stay afloat. So we need the partnership of distributors, and everybody needs to make their margin. So after everybody makes their margin, we derive at the retail price that you guys are putting your hard-earned money to buy. And I really appreciate it. I mean, sometimes I am even feeling a little bit shy when a customer tells me he buys 5 of every model I put out. 5. I don't have one of the model I put out. So it goes to show you that there are people out there who are so committed, and that drives us, to make sure that we are. And I think you can see it. You can see our improvements, and we truly appreciate this comment, and we are appreciative of your customership for sure. Okay, so again, that's on fixing. So Freddie says to the stage, I'm not too sure what you mean. Sorry about that. So we have Dwayne here who agrees that the other parts, constitutes to the price. So yes, indeed, it's not free. Material cost, there's the price indeed. So how about making the ordnance magnetic on the upcoming release? In fact, we will probably have an announcement, I would think, by about, I think, June or earlier. So I've announced in 2020, sometime mid 2020, that we have revised the F-14's 3D model to have a definitive B and D model. And we have already made steps to put that into a reality this year. And when that comes this year, you will see the magnetic components. It was planned for earlier this year, but we had to juggle certain projects, so it's pushed back a little bit, but not too much. I'm confident that this year you will see a much improved F-14. You can take my word for it. The creator, there's a lot of breaks. Where do I apply? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what you mean. Ivan Dako. Hi, big hello from Greece. Hello from China to Greece. No real criticism aside, the model can come with more weapon options. Understood. And as I've mentioned just now, we are working towards that. So any possibility of the Macross Zero VFs? At present, there is no license, and as we know, there was license issues. We don't talk about that today, right? So we'll forego that. Hold on. Oh, looks like the chat has just jumped. Hold on, I need to check back. Okay, let's see. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So Ben Dover, thanks for joining the stream just now. If you're still here, A10. Again, like I've mentioned before, we need to pace ourselves. So again, Evan, love the products, best in the market, waiting for the Hellenic F16 variants. Yes, we'll be looking towards doing that. Joe's Kate. Hi Noel, any possibilities of the Max VF1 and VT? No. I'm afraid not, my friend. I'm afraid not. So Anthony, again, you mentioned that it's a balancing act for better quality. You'll spend more time on each and every model. That's time. Time is money. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Mr. Sapiling again, have a question. Second wave. I think we mentioned this, right? So future F14 from the creator, he says, can we start to think out of the box? Yeah. Let's put it this way: there's so many liveries, and we have got to also be sensitive to how people do like certain liveries. That's why they are done. And because we have not done it yet, even though it is done by other manufacturers, we still have to do it. We just have to check the box. So I hope you understand. Yeah. So yes, I think we were at a high of 31. I really appreciate it. It is the highest we've ever had on a Calibre live stream. So I think I appreciate it very much. Okay. Axel B again talking about the smaller boxes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I am also trying to, if logistics and everything allows, because again, when we start changing things, there's some it's a ripple effect, right? Ripple effect. The SU24 could be packaged in a smaller box, but because I wanted everybody to see what we have on the inside of the wings, that's why the wings are open and placed in the box. Also to verify that those prints are not scratched, so you can see for yourself, right? If you open a box and you are at the retail environment, you can see. So touch wood, if there are some scratches, you can opt not to buy that, right? Versus the wings folded, and then once you open up, you might be disappointed with something. But again, if we get the quality control done, then it should be good. So that's why I'm slowly moving, hopefully, for the SU24 into a smaller packaging configuration. Okay, so again, XLB same mention about the packing. The creator seems like CenturyWings, HM, and now are chasing each other, putting out the same liveries. No, that could be an opinion. And my personal opinion is that in our initial releases, it did seem that HM was chasing us. And in the current Top Gun, it seemed like we are chasing Century. But like I said, I've already planned for the Top Gun, the two models, the Splinter and the Desert Camouflage, which is why I made the Top Gun series. So it was a case of certain discussion with the distributor that, if you put that out later, then perhaps it might not be too good. So, we just expedited it. Yes, correct. I guess on that description I had before about the phone software and stuff, yes, I fully agree. Like I said, so it's not apples to apples, no pun intended. So Jia Hui also mentioned, how do you supervise the factory? So you take the factory as a partner, all right? And with any partner, you will know how to supervise, because there is obviously the factory head. You go through the proper procedure, the hierarchy. So you explain everything to the factory head. You have a meeting. You talk about the various points. You highlight what needs to be specifically looked for, and hopefully the information is disseminated to their ranks. And of course, we all know about broken telephone. What we say here, 20 points might be 18 points, and 18 points might be 16 points. So I go to the factory floor. That's why it's my responsibility to go and see that all my 20 points are addressed. So that's how we supervise the factory. Okay, so Ronified mentions that if Joy Rogers sell, they sell. The market wants it. Okay, that's not really about customer criticism, I guess. It's about a product that sells. So Ian Sufyan again. So talking about the Diamondbacks. Yes, the Diamondbacks. I've just seen the pet printing films being done, and they will be out after GL03. So I reckon about May, April, May, I guess May. Thank you, Ben Dover, for your comment. Really appreciate it. Again, I also mentioned before to another customer when I replied that I'm not looking for praise, but I am very happy when a customer receives the model and sends me a message and say that they really love it. When they say that they love it, it is not a praise, but it means that we have done our job. We have done our job and the customer is happy. And that is what we're looking for. And it's very different from praise, if you see what I mean. Okay, I think I had some connection issues with my camera. Just hold on. Just hold on, guys. I'm having some camera issues. Let me fix that. I'll be with you in just a minute. We're currently having camera issues. Let me put up a banner first. Hold on. Okay, create a banner. Having camera issues. Will be right back. Okay, so I'm just okay, guys, hold on. I'm still here. I'm sorting out the camera. Apparently, the battery ran dead. Hopefully, this works. All right, I think we're back. All right, guys, sorry about that. There was camera issues. Okay. So let me just find where we were. I'm so sorry. I want to make sure I address all your comments. Okay. Let me just get back on track and I'll be right with you. Okay. Yes, thank you, Benham, for understanding that we're not experimenting with the customers. That's the last thing on our mind. Definitely not. Axel B, are the comments on YouTube read? I'm actually not sure. I'm only seeing one set of comments on StreamYard, so I'm not sure if they are. So obviously they're not read. Obviously, I guess these comments are coming from the Facebook feed, so I'll probably address them later when I do the rerun. I'm so sorry if the comments on YouTube is not read. Maybe I will go to the YouTube later on. Hold on. All right. So let me just finish here first. So can we have a canopy fixed with magnetic closure? Okay, this is product and not customer stuff. I would say there is no need. There is no need for magnetic closure because we are dealing with a transparent part. We all know that canopies are transparent part. Again, when we try to innovate, and we are innovating, I'm always for innovation. I'm even questioning, can we make the canopy frame out of die-cast metal? Right? If we made the canopy frame out of die-cast metal, we can use a clear blister to fill up the clear part. But then again, it's kind of not feasible or not practical, because when you grab the canopy and if the blister is soft, you're going to squeeze it and damage it. And if it's a clear part, it would likely be too thick to mesh with a metal canopy frame. You will see a distinctive outline between the clear part and the metal frame part. So as we like to innovate, we can wish for the world. We can have the blue sky and pen down a lot of stuff. But once we sit down and start to see which is feasible, then we realize, what's cannot be done. Because as much as we want to innovate, at the end of the day, a wheel on a car is still round. Although, yes, you can see that now they have the Mars rovers having those mesh things, but it's still round. See? Okay. So the canopy being a clear plastic part, there's probably no space for any magnets to attach. And attaching a magnet would involve glue, and the chance of the glue clouding out the canopy is always there. So you're introducing a very much more peril procedures. All right, Stephen Charles, I think the use of the word experiment is wrong. When you release a model, it has been looked over and made a final product. Definitely not using. Thank you very much for understanding. But like I said, we respect the concerns from the customer. Sometimes we do feel that, that way, so we empathize definitely. To George Rogers on the final countdown, just did a quick check. Not sure what you mean there. Okay, so take off configuration. Exactly, we are doing that this year, my friend. We are doing that this year. I will have images very soon of the prototype. Okay, so again so Anthony, again, thank you for your comment about even in huge car factories with computers, robots, humans, QCing, outrageous things get through. Thus, recalls happen. Okay, yeah. So Sharon again, Abdul Malik, levitated die cast on. Okay, the closest thing we have seen to levitation, if you guys are familiar, is some figures like Ultraman. They're like on the levitating base, and the Back to the Future DeLorean on the levitating base. But to first of all get that thing on the levitating base is like 20, 30, 40 tries, and you get it once. So it's very frustrating for the user. Number two, when you do not get it in place, the magnet sucks the product in. The DeLorean slams onto the base. You can't afford your aircraft model to slam onto the base. Number three, you need a big enough magnet to connect the field. Currently, unless you're doing something bigger or having a more saucepan sort of a shape like a UFO, there is no surface area on a die-cast 72 scale fighter to accommodate this particular magnet. So many crosses there. So we probably will not have this dream to be a reality. Not impossible. I say it's not impossible, but we have to know if the means to the end is worth it. In this case, I don't see how it's worth it. With JC stepping up the F-14, I hope Calibre will also. How is JC stepping up the F-14? I'm not too sure. Not too sure about that. So Anthony, again, thanks. Most companies don't care about the quality customers these days. I don't think we should talk down about, because we don't know what happens in companies. I sincerely believe that companies care, but because if they are big, then you have people on salaries. Once you have a salaried worker who just takes it as a job, then you have very differences of customer care. I give you my personal experience. When I'm having troubles on PayPal and eBay, I write in, I'm getting generic response. First of all, you can't even find how to write in. You are always finding Q&A pages that hopefully answers your question. But what you really want is to talk to a customer representative. But because they are big companies, they can have all these tele marketers, but they are tele customer service operators, and they are giving us the template. When I ask a question, they would direct me to that particular thing. So in Calibre Wings, I don't think any of you have experienced this. We have done our best to give you a very personalized customer experience. And if things are generic, we refer you to videos on YouTube. If things are more serious, we ask you for your photographs, maybe a short video for us to better understand what you're experiencing. And then we can take care of you better. But also because we need to have our distributors handle some of the workload. which is why sometimes if you do not buy from us directly, we refer you back to where you bought your product from, and you can get the service from the local distributor. Otherwise, the distributor just sells and we handle all the customer service, then it's a little bit unfair in our opinion. So that is my response to your comment. Okay. So Ben Dover says not painted parts. I'm not sure what you mean there. If you can clarify. All right, Evan. So I guess you have left the stream. No problem. Thank you very much for joining. Kasim or Kasim? Yes, I see you post regularly. We thank you very much for your input. I'm good so far. How are you? Jorge again, thanks for joining the stream. How about include more accessories to the Viper products? Okay, let's see how we advance, okay? Because as it is right now, the Viper has a lot of accessories. If you count the number of accessories, we pretty much match what the Tomcat has. So we have to, Hey, George Knock. Glad you can join the stream. Yes, you will see that very soon. Being open to criticism is nice for the fans and the market, but always remember you will never please everybody. Yes, that is correct. We definitely empathize that. That is why, when people are critical of us, we're not looking for a fight. We're just trying to calm the person down. At the end of the day, this is a hobby. It is very strange and sad that in a hobby, you get to a point where you're arguing and you are in a fight and calling names. So for one, we will never call anybody name because that's not how we work. That's wrong for sure. And we've experienced it with our Macross saga, where we do our best to produce a top-notch product for the fans, by the fan, and yet we are shot down just because of certain things that are sensitive to fanatics, and that made the whole experience very unpleasant. Right, from something that we enjoy doing, it became very distasteful. So when we have customers, doing all these comments, and it seems like there's almost a fight going on, we say, oh, calm down, right? This is a hobby. We're here to enjoy it. Yes, you are critical of certain aspects because that's you. We appreciate that. So we try to explain to you that perhaps our models are not meant for you. Perhaps, our models are not done to the quality you expect. So we apologize and we ask that perhaps you can consider other brands. And that's the way we approach it. Okay. So unfortunately, sorry, I can't pronounce your name, sir, but I appreciate your feedback. XLB, any news of the stand and elevator? So since we're on this subject, let me explain it. So for the die-cast metal stand, I've gotten some feedback before, right? We wanted something transparent, and we said that we can't do transparent on die-cast metal, but we could look into the stamp being transparent, right? After all, the cradle is transparent. So I thought about it long and hard and bit the bullet, and we're currently going a revamp of the die-cast metal base. So only the base will be metal, and I'm changing the stem to plastic. So it requires some time for us to get the 3D revised and then out with a prototype and then a retooling. So apologies there that we have to wait a little bit more, and I can't give you a definite date until we have the resources committed, that I'm seeing the progress, that I can report to you guys exactly when the stand will be available. Likewise for the elevator. I gotta be honest, the elevator, I wasn't happy with the fact that it was going down faster than it going up. But that's physics, right? Going down is faster because of the weight of the model, the weight of the platform. It goes down faster because of the weight of the model and the weight of the platform. The engine, the no engine, sorry, the motor that is revving the elevator up uses more strength, more torque, so it's slower. But see, I'm going really advanced, and I might not even have to do this. I'm trying to explain to the factory that you can control the descent by controlling the torque of the motor by maybe resistors. I don't know. I'm just putting all this out because I have some experience with electrical engineering when I was doing my mechanical engineering training, and I learned about resistors. So resistors are meant to, prevent certain things from happening, but I'm not sure. So we're currently in a stage of revising this up and down so that when we go down, it's the same pace as we go up. So until I'm sure on getting a result, I can't report to you guys, but hopefully things will be resolved by June, because June will be Wonder Festival Shanghai, and since we had the prototype in Shanghai last October and initially promised to have the product by February, because of this revamp, then obviously we need the lead time to have it done. So by calculation, it should be probably June, and then in Wonder Festival we can probably sell it there. So, but I'll definitely let you guys know. So Daytona Gray, thank you for coming to the stream. Quality control has to be improved. Bought two S24 and both have paint chips. Yes, we will definitely improve that. I'm not sure which SU24 you bought, but if you had bought the recent Russian camouflage, you will see that it is improved. So Dave Palmer, thank you for that comment. I accept that there will be defects in any model. HM has defects, Corgi has, in my opinion, glaring defects in accuracy. Yet they have been in business for decades. So if for some reason a model I received from you has a defect I could not tolerate, I would reach out for a solution. I feel there is no reason for me to complain in a public forum, and I feel that those that do are just seeking attention, not resolution. I think you make a very good point there. And like I said, we're not trying to belittle anybody. We're just hoping that we can convey to people that we are here to enjoy the hobby, and let's build bridges and work together versus, being overly critical. Like I said, I am not sure if I can voice this because somebody even, I guess it's Sharan, if I recall it correctly, when I put the HM model versus our F16 to highlight a few differences, there was concerns about defamation, and it was not right for a manufacturer to use another manufacturer's name and all these things. Quite simply, I was asked the question to compare between HM and Calibre. So I rightly answered the customer by showing the HM and the Calibre. And seeing somebody ask the question, I thought that maybe other people had the same queries. So I put it up onto our Facebook to show you guys the differences that was asked. and how you guys can see the differences and hopefully answer your question of what these differences are. And that was the only intention. All right. So I don't think there's any ill intent. And I'm sure if HM ever got news of that, they would also see it as a fair comparison. It's not comparing whether what is better or what is worse, but merely highlighting what is different. Okay. So I think yeah, I very much stand with you, Dave, on this comment. And yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Paul Everett, the Wolfpack, and so let's see. This is the Wolfpack triangular patch. That's Wolfpack 1, baby. So, all right. So, Gabby, I think it's Gabby. Oh, Benjamin. So, would you be willing to release more weapons and accessory packs? Yeah, I think we've gone through this one. Hopefully, I answer your question. So, Stephen Charles mentioned that, in my opinion, Calibre Wings is number one in diecast models. Thank you for that, but I don't think we are in a race for any particular trophy. Okay, so still nobody calling in on the stream. Okay. Right, Ethan, thank you very much from Toy Panic. Thank you for the assurance that we are doing a good job. Nick Arpino, I don't know of any other company that will make an open discussion of complaints. Well done. Yeah, because I think, again, like I said, the messages does not convey feelings. So there's a very high chance that what you write is misinterpreted by me, and what I write is misinterpreted by you. So the best way is to come out and have a face-to-face on this technology that we have, right? This live stream. And I'm so thankful to be able to speak to you guys as if I'm in the shop. When I was in the shop in Shanghai, we actually had the real customers interaction. That's how I learned that the customer was buying 5 of each of our Calibre models. So, I feel that this is a chance for us to say thank you, a chance for us to hear what you're not satisfied with, and a chance for you to know more about our processes, our difficulties, And again, there will be those that say, we don't want to hear about your difficulties. You are there, you are the company, you must make the thing good. So unfortunately, I'm not that kind of company. I'm not perfect. I made lots of changes because I see the mistakes and I'm changing it. And I'm a one-man operation. So I can't delegate to my staff except Kelly, who is handling the orders and the packing and stuff like that. So let me take this chance to I'll just go through the comments first, because I wanted to say that the Facebook Messenger, if you guys are listening, please keep it to product information. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time. I'm sure there will still be people that have not seen the stream and they will ask me. I'll just direct them. But please understand that I cannot handle customer service. I have to pass it on to Kelly. If you have a missing part, you have a broken part, you have a part that's scratched, you want a replacement, you have got to go through that route. I will always be here to help you on how to and what is this, but to do a physical replacement, I'm not the guy, right? So I need to delegate. Otherwise, I have no end. So okay, Arthur, X16i again. F16i incurs a new parts, and most significantly, the RSAF F16 has a lot of all these new avionics shapes and stuff on the F16, which is shared by some of the UAE, right, and some of the Israeli. So we will definitely do our best to make that, but it will not be this year. We need new tooling, new parts, just like how the F14 is finally getting its flaps and slants. It took a few years, hopefully not as many for the F16, but it's going to be in the future. So, oh, the chat just fast forward again. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Sharon. Again, thanks for Toy Panic to be our partner in Malaysia. We appreciate you very much. And thank you for taking care of the customers in Malaysia. Malaysia is a great forum. If you guys don't know, check out the Malaysian diecast, military diecast group. It's a great group. I think the Malaysian group is astonishingly big. It's astonishing how many Malaysian collectors are collecting diecast and how they are coming out with their own parts and GSE equipment to further, beautify their collection. So there's some conversation between Ethan and Sharon. Okay. Okay. Yes, Stephen. Yes, I saw your message yesterday, and definitely this will be done. Just give us time. It will be done. Okay. So Andrew, again about the pandemic. No, China has handled the pandemic really well, and we are not affected by the pandemic. All right, Kerwin, do you have a social life outside of Calibre Wings? To be honest, yes, I do spend some time, not just with models, but mostly models. I think 90% models, 10% social life. All right. PB, I'm not even going to pronounce that. I'm actually more impressed with CW, knowing how small the operation actually is. Each F14 is better with the last. Yes. Yeah, so initially we are apprehensive to sort of disclose the facts. But like I said, it will be asked sooner or later. The question will be asked, and I don't lie. And we've been asked this question a few times on the back end from private messages, and we've given the truth. So I thought it would be great if today we're talking about customer concerns, we're talking about criticism of customers. So I thought we can just at least let the customer know the pressure that comes with a one man taking care of the entire community. How about that? So, okay. All right, 16 guys in the stream. If you guys want to know the B58, like I said, I will try to hold this off for other discussion. But the main thing is because there is no real model kit out there for us to reference, which is why it's difficult to draw the B58. So we just need more time. I'm not giving up. Scott Skinner, what are your thoughts on a separate piece for canopy open close? Okay, so this is where we are between a rock and a hard place. There are people who like the swappable parts because, like you said, it allows for more accuracy because there's less moving parts. And then there's the collectors who thinks that this is wrong because if you don't have the working mechanism, that takes away from the play value. So it's really a balance. We cannot open the speed brakes by a mechanical part, so it has to be a separated part. But as and when things can actually move with motion, then we try to incorporate that. And then comes the question: then why don't our wheels be movable? Again, you need to look at it. For a wheel to be movable, you need a rivet in, and we don't like to have the rivet coming out from the strut. So the F14 was just nice, whereby the rivet can go in and the rivet's circumference sort of mesh with the F14's wheel. But with the F16, there is no space for us to put that rivet in. So we remain the F16's wheels to be static. So that's how we actually, there is a balance. We got to find that balance, and we decide that balance, and hopefully the customers will agree with us on our decision. And that's all I can say. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, Alan Flanders, thank you. We hope to have you join the family. SJ Ho, thank you for joining the stream. All the first release from all diecast manufacturers surely have some hiccup, no matter it's HM or C brand. Most important improvements are done in the future. I can see from the S24, so huge difference, and appreciate it. And we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Ronald Aliwalas. Hi, Noel, just join in. I'm not sure if this has been discussed. The F14 Ghost Rider has issues with weapon attachments. Yes, this has been discussed, my friend. Like I mentioned before, if you have heard me explain it, it's to do with the paint not being adequately applied onto the tabs, because when the part is produced, the part must have the tolerance to accept the thickness of paints. If the part is produced too conforming, and when the paint is applied, you can't even put the part in because the paint would have taken up the dimension. So it's a very fine balance, but we think we got it covered. It's just that on that particular batch, obviously when they sprayed the part, they left out enough paint onto the tab. So the creator says the elevator looks like a toy. Yes, because it is meant to be sold to the target audience of the Macross collectors. The elevator can accommodate the 160 scale and 172 scale VF1 toys from manufacturers that's currently in the market. Arcadia, Yamato, Kids Concept. So it's meant to be a toy. And it's meant to complement our 172 scale VF1. When you buy the VF1, you can now have this elevator to complement the look. And you can also use the elevator to prop up your VF1 toys. So Carl Slade talks about the twin Mustang. I'm again so sorry if I disappoint you, but I have no plans for that. Yeah, no plans for that because I need to have a feel for the model if I were to do it. And the twin Mustang is something that I have not a feel for yet, but I may change my mind. So Ian Foster, thank you for the comment. Open and honest video. Yes, if you can understand what we're trying to convey, that's mission accomplished. Gabby, is that Gabby or is that Gab or Gabby? Can you please let me know? I don't want to pronounce your name wrongly, my friend. Mr. Benjamin, yes, I mentioned that on the weapons pack. I think you also maybe heard me because the chat is faster than my explanation. We'll consider that. Stephen Charles, always appreciate your input. Thank you very much. XLB, thank you for your live performance. Yeah, I just hope that I'm coming across okay in terms of my. I hope that I'm not sounding too loud or sounding too hoarse because I'm already talking for more than an hour, so I'm getting parched. Okay. Okay, so Andrew Trent, thanks for that. Okay, I'm reaching the end of the comments on here. So I'm going to look at the YouTube. I'll start from the. Okay. All right. So I think pretty much the YouTube stuff is translated over here. All right. Okay, guys. I am going to, let's see if I can put the okay. All right, so I put the link for calling in if you guys want to call in. But so far, I don't think anybody is calling in. I'm not too sure why, because I'm expecting to be engaging the toughest of critics. Because the rest of you have no issues, right? The rest of you have small issues. The rest of you understand what we're trying to do. So I was basically looking forward to the calls for the real critics, but so far none has actually called in. So okay, I think we covered that. So I think we covered everything here. So we went through the Calibre hierarchy earlier in the video. We talked about how we want to serve with pride. We talk about we are giving everybody a no-nonsense and direct attitude. Sometimes the direct attitude may come across to be a bit harsh, but we don't mean to be harsh. We just want to be direct. We like to deal with responsible people and fair people. So it's a, what's the word I'm looking for? It is a reciprocation. We reciprocate. So if the comments are fair and reasonable, we reciprocate with fair and reasonable, right? If it's unreasonable, then we need to take a different approach, right? We mentioned that we are building bridges. This is a hobby that we all enjoy, and I enjoy bringing it to you. So help me to continue the enjoyment, because if there's too much hate, then you wake up every day to negative comments. Then you wonder, what exactly have you done wrong? So, but I guess I'm able to manage it properly. I understand that the negative comments are only from a small group of people, and I totally understand where they're coming from, and I will handle them accordingly. But most of all, like I said, 90%, 95, even 98% of you guys are hardcore supporters, and I'm very appreciative to have you guys on board. So that's about it. We are, let's see, we are really into 1, 2, or way past 2 hours. And if there's nothing else, all right, if there's nothing else, then I will call it a day on this stream. Okay, I think we got somebody here. So I think I see Anthony. Make sure you have your window for this stream switched off so that we don't have any feedback. So once you confirm that, I'm going to add you to the stream. All right. So I'll give you 5 seconds to turn off any window. So I'm going to also put on my headset. Hi, Anthony. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. Okay, so I guess he has dropped off the stream. Okay, so are we gonna do it, or otherwise we'll call it a day, right? So let me know any final comments here and there. Let me know, guys. So it's getting a bit late. It's 1:47 a.m. here in China. But again, I'm good to stay on a bit more if you guys are going to call in. Otherwise, we'll do this another time, right? Okay, so I think thank you very much again, guys, for joining me. I hope today is educational and fun. I enjoy bringing this live stream to you guys as much as, hopefully you guys enjoy hearing me out. And until the next time, signing off. Take care again, and I'll see you guys soon.